you've decided to throw your Pawn Star weight behind one Republican contender for president. Who is it?
It's Marco Rubio.
Why is that?
Because, like you said earlier, I've met so many politicians, and, they'll get in front of a lot of people and they'll talk a lot, but the second you go one-on-one and have lunch with them or something like that, everything is always the party, both sides, Democrats and Republicans. And I had met him before, and it just turned out we were both in LA at the same time. I went and had lunch with him. And the entire time I talked to him, all he wanted to do was talk about people, and he never mentioned the party once.
That's interesting.
Which was a really big deal to me. I mean, it was, you've seen my show. I'm pretty good at reading people. I negotiate with people all the time. This guy honestly cares about American people and, free enterprise. And, you've seen my show. I'm a history nut. And if you look back, the #1 thing that has always brought people out of poverty, no matter where they're at in the world, is the ease of doing business. And this guy wants to make it easier to do business. It will bring people out of poverty. It will do things for the economy. So I'm behind him.
You are. And, in fact, you're going to throw a birthday fundraiser for him out there May 28th. I did not realize until you and I were just chatting during the commercial break, Marco Rubio has a connection to Las Vegas.
Yes. He was, for a few years, he lived here as a kid. His dad was a bartender at a bowling alley here in town. And his mom was a maid at one of the hotels.
That's something. What about the criticism? There have been a number of people who have said, so-called experts on this stuff. They say, we don't need a first-term senator, U.S. senator. We need somebody like a governor who's run something. What do you say to them regarding Marco?
You need a good leader, okay? You don't necessarily need a governor is a politician, a senator is a politician. What you need is a very strong leader, someone who's really to speak his mind and put the right people in charge of things, and if they do a bad job, fire them. And you also need to go out there and say what you really mean instead of just beat around the bush like a lot of other politicians. I mean, look at Marco. I mean, he goes out there, strongly endorses Israel. He talks about the Middle East. There's just so many things I like about him that the other politicians don't.
Well, it's great that you should decide to get up early on this Friday to join us to tell us about this. And it's unusual for you to throw your weight behind a political candidate to begin with, Rick.
Well, yeah, I'm a celebrity and I do endorsements and things like that. And when you endorse a Republican, usually it's suicide. But I really care about people. Yeah. And it's just the way the history of this country works. I mean, that's why this country's great. It was easy forever to do business, and it's getting harder and harder. Right.
And you have made it, and it is great that you would join us. Marco Rubio is this guy. Rick Harrison, thank you very much for joining us today live from Vegas.